So if you are still using this, which is fine, there is a little bit easier of a way. So if you're tired of filling in all of these things and changing the name and some of the other information, there's a quick way to do that, especially if you have a spreadsheet that has all of the students' access scores already, which we're given by Gretchen. So what you can do is go to this ESSA parent notification form or Google Doc, and if you pause the video, you can copy this URL, and then you'll have this if you don't have my email anymore. So what you're going to do is basically, when you have a copy of this, it already has created these different headers, they call them. And so it's kind of a double caret one way, what the header is on the Google spreadsheet, which I'll talk about in a second, and then a double caret the other way. So basically I've got one here, and when you have those will change for each student. You can change the graduation rate, the test, so each year that'll change. Usually it's the access, but it might be the model. And then I'm trying to think some other things that you might have. The grade level of the student, the program, meaning the class that you're teaching, the instructional method. So is it pull-out? Is it sheltered? Those types of things. And then I've got the criterion for exiting. So once you have copied this, what you're going to do is you can create a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, with the name of the students, the level, so the overall access score, the test that was used, so the access, and again, it might be 2019, 2020, next year will be 2020, 2021, or the screener, the grade level, the years, so is it going to be 1 year to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years for that student in order to exit the program? What the program is, so I've got ELD 4, ELD 2, ELD 3, ELD 1, etc. The continuing placement, and then I also have added the exited students just because we get those access scores. So I think it's just another nice way to say, hey, you've exited, and I usually put a little smiley face on the ESSA letter. So this right here would not be there yet. It would be blank. So you would have the first 2, 4, 6, 7 columns, and then what you're going to do is you're going to merge the letter with this information. Now, the nice thing is about this is you are just basically copying and pasting. Most students are going to take the access test each year, so you just copy and paste it for those students. I've even got some of the parent refusal, but obviously I've got some students that just came to the district, so I gave them the screener. So those are the tests. So basically you can fill this in. Now, most of this information I already have on another spreadsheet. I just copied the name, I copied the grade, and then I filled in the rest, but I could copy and paste from this pretty easily. So that makes it pretty quick for me. So now here's where the magic begins. What you're going to need to do is go to add-ons, and if you don't have it already, you'd go to get add-ons and get Autocrat. And when you have downloaded Autocrat, you'll get this under the add-ons menu. Click open, and you're going to be walked through pretty easily the different steps. So I'll walk you through that. I've already got the steps taken care of, but I'm going to click edit. Normally you would create new job, but I'm going to click edit. Why does that look different? Sorry. My cursor went away. I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Yep. So you're going to name it. So I'm calling it this year's ESSA 2020-2021 letter. You could put parent letter or whatever, notification. Next. Then you're going to find, so you're going to go from Google Drive. You can find this letter that you've copied from me, or you create your own. It's up to you. But again, you have to make sure you have those carets surrounding it, 2 of them, not just 1, but 2 of them. Or you look for the copy you made from me. Sorry, I've got too many tabs open. So once you find that, you're going to click on that template and it'll show up here. I'm not sure why it's disappearing. My cursor keeps disappearing. There we go, because that was clicked. So then I click next. Hopefully. I'm going to pause it. So then you'll get this map source data to template. You want the header row 1, because that is where it has the name, the level, the grade, all that stuff. And then you want the first row data to be 2, because that's where the first student is. And then you just want to make sure you scroll down and make sure that these match. So it says placement, and then it says placement. Name, it says name. So you just scroll down, make sure it's okay. It looks good, so I'm clicking next. Here is what the file name will be for each of the students you have. So I put name in the 2 carets, right, surrounding the 2 carets, ESSA letter 2020-2021. So now when I get the PDF, and by default it does go to Google Doc, I always change it to PDF, just personal preference. You can obviously do a Google Doc if you want to, but it's easier to print that way if you have your Google Drive synced to your desktop. So then I can just open up all of them and click print for all of them. So it's a lot quicker. So that's why I do PDF. So anyway, if you put name ESSA, so I change it obviously each year, name ESSA letter 2019-2020, 2020-21. Next year will be 2021-2022. Okay. I do use multiple output mode, so I do click that. By default, it does say single. And then you want to choose the folder. And I always create a new folder every year for the parent letters for that current year. So, and then actually what I do next year, when it's next year, I actually click this delete button and I create a new folder by choosing a folder and creating a new one. So next year, I'll delete this and type choose folder, parent letter 2021-2022, and then all of the letters, the PDF letters, will be put into that folder. Okay, so I'm going to click next. I don't worry about dynamic. I don't worry about condition. I don't worry about sharing unless you want to share it with a co-teacher or something. And then the one thing I do change is add remove job triggers. I want to say yes, run on form trigger. So when I go back, and I'll show you that in a minute, when I go back, I will click the run button. And every time I click, it looks like a play button, like on Spotify or something. When you click the play button, it will run this setting. I don't do the run on time trigger. I'm not worried about that. Then I click save, but I'm going to click cancel because I've already done it. But you will click save. And then when you are ready, you will click the run job button. And what happens is you will notice it automatically creates these different columns with all of this information. So when I click on this URL, it will open up that PDF. But obviously I don't want to do that. I would create it, or I would have it on my desktop and then I'd be able to print it that way. Or you can go to that folder and open up each one individually. But the nice thing is, and I'm not going to show you just for security purposes, but it would basically say the student's name. Again, I'm not sure why my cursor is disappearing here. It would say the student's name. It would say continuing or exited. It would tell how many more years that the student has left in the program. It would talk about the ELD courses that the student is taking. So each letter is individualized per student, which is nice. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at mkarasek@sawashco.org.